They're the front leg ones. They look kind of funny to me. I don't know. Sorry if I'm offending any wyverns out there watching. What if I told you the famous dragons of Drogon from Game of Thrones, Alduin from Skyrim, and even Smaug from the Hobbit films weren't actually dragons? Because technically, they aren't. This is something that's annoyed me for some time now. Countless works of fiction beyond these examples have been doing it, calling things that aren't dragons, dragons, and I've finally had enough. We need to talk about the correct names for dragons. But of course, dragons aren't actually real. Disappointing, I know. But within the realms of world mythology and fantasy fiction, dragons have ended up being depicted in all kinds of different ways. Some are huge beasts with 4 legs and wings, some with 2 legs and wings, and some with no legs and wings, and even some with no wings but legs. All these different kinds of dragons have been given unique names, and it's due to this why certain creatures that have been dubbed dragons shouldn't really be called dragons. The word of dragon unto itself, however, is also used for a specific kind of dragon, as well as an overarching term for these mythical beasts. Traditionally, a true dragon has 4 legs and wings. A great example of this is actually with the dragon from the Shrek films, though sometimes she uses her front legs as little arms, that counts too I guess, but an even better example I guess is the one seen on the Welsh flag. The word dragon has its origins with the Greek drakon, which means things like serpent or giant sea fish. So the word has always had links with scary monsters of some kind. There's also just the word of drake, which has the same etymological ties to dragon. Sometimes drake and dragon are used interchangeably, but some people like to think that drakes are a specific kind of smaller dragon, or ones with no wings at all. So yeah, a dragon is technically one with 4 legs and 2 wings. And if you think of dragons like Alduin, Drogon, and the movie representation of Smaug, you will notice they have 2 legs and wings, not 4, meaning they aren't technically dragons. Yeah, this has really been bugging me for over like 10 years now. So if they aren't dragons, then what on earth are they? These kinds of dragons are instead known as wyvern. This is the name for dragons which consist of 2 legs and wings. In some older depictions they are seen with 2 little like front legs and wings instead of back legs, but they're more commonly seen with the back legs today. They're the front leg ones. They look kind of funny to me. I don't know. Sorry if I'm offending any wyverns out there watching. This word of wyvern comes from the old French term of gueuvre. I think I pronounced that right. I actually checked. Shout out to Forve, who someone on there's actually pronounced wyvern like that. Yeah, credit to you. Cheers, mate. This word simply means snake, and it makes a degree of sense. Dragons have always been linked with snakes, and these guys are somewhat snake-like, I suppose. They do have those 2 legs. Snakes don't have any legs from us, as far as I can tell. These are the 2 main kinds of dragons we see depicted today, and it's the nomenclature confusion between these 2 types of dragon that has riled me up and many others over the years. Yet these are not the only kinds of dragons out there, and another kind of dragon in particular, unlike wyvern, actually does have the same amount of legs as a snake. But before we get into that, I'd like to briefly talk about Patreon and Super Thanks. Patreon is the best way to financially support Name Explain, and donating just $1 a month gets you ad-free videos, a chance to say what names I'll explain, an exclusive monthly newsletter, and your name at the end of these videos. All of that can be found at patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below. Conversely, if you want to just make a one-time donation, you can leave a super thanks directly in the comments section of any of my videos here on YouTube. They help out tremendously too. Thank you. But yes, anyway, a kind of dragon with no legs like a snake is a worm. These kinds of dragons are not only legless, but are often depicted with no wings at all. They're basically big, scaly, angry slugs, or worms for that matter. Yeah, it's not a coincidence that this word sounds so similar to our modern word of worm. This Old English word of worm was applied to anything that was long and limbless. Once again, also being applied to snakes too. Eventually it was adapted into the word of worm, like for our modern earthworms, and the older spelling lives on as a name for a kind of dragon. Though I did also hear that just any dragon could be called a worm too. Like I said, dragons aren't really real, and a lot of this is made up by old people from mythology or modern fantasy writers, so the nomenclature is a bit all over the place. It's a tad confusing, but we'll manage. So we have covered dragons with wings and 4 legs, wings and 2 legs, no wings and legs, and no wings and no legs. But what about a kind of dragon that has wings but no legs? Well, they are known as amphipter. This name sounds very similar to amphitheater, and there's a reason for that. The amphi at the start of both their names means the same thing. It means all around or on both sides, and in the case of the dragon it relates to its two wings. The latter part of this name simply refers to these wings too. And what I finally want to mention are the Chinese dragons of mythology. These are some of the most recognizable dragons out there, yet once again, we probably shouldn't call them dragons. Usually they lack wings entirely and have way more than just 4 legs. And also because dragon is a very European word, as we've discovered, I can't imagine they were calling them Chinese or dragons in ancient China. Like, it's just like, they probably don't call Chinese food, they might just call it food. I don't imagine they refer to specifically these as Chinese dragons, just dragons, or not even dragons in this case. According to Wikipedia, the correct name for these guys is something along the lines of the lung, or the long, or the long, which ties in really neatly with the Chinese word for dragons. But hopefully now you should know your wyverns from your worms and your drakes from your dragons. There are other kinds of dragons out there too, so let me know about them down in the comments. And for the record, I've never watched How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sure that's absolutely full to the brim with different kinds of fun dragons, so let me know about them down below. So yeah, but of course, also, please suggest a topic down below which we could cover in next Monday's Name Explain video. It could be about literally anything, and the topic can be as niche or broad as you like. I will then choose 3 of those topics and place them in a poll for my patrons to vote on. Then the winner from the poll will be the topic covered in next Monday's Name Explain video. You can vote in that poll as well as enjoy many other great benefits by visiting patreon.com/name explain, which will be linked down below, and by donating just $1 a month. Thank you. But anyway, that's more than enough for myself. But don't forget to go follow me on Instagram where I'm NameExplainYT, and don't forget to join the Facebook page Friends of Name Explain, where you can chat with myself and many other name nerds. Okay all, take care. Now that I understand more about how focus works on cameras, who would have thought, I thought, let's bring it a bit closer. So hopefully the background still looks quite nice and blurred. I just actually did some test footage and it did look alright on my little camera screen. Yeah, thought we'll mix it up, try something different. Let me know what you think about it. That was a bit too early. This once again can be applied to snake. Oh, I've missed a bit there. Was applied to anything with long and lip. I did check how to pronounce this one, Amber. Amphipter, I think it is. Let's see. But what about the kind of dragon that has wings but... Wait. I need to change that. The amphi at the start of their both... No wings and legs. No, that's the one I'm getting rid of. Oh no, we have... Okay, this is... My mind's being a stupid. We can say, oh, this is normal. Cool, we're filmed. Yeah?